started.
Okay, Ebony on Fire. Let's try the center counter. Haven't played that in a while. Oh, he just pushes past. I wonder what that is. I guess I can attack it with my knight. And he can defend it. Interesting. Now, do I want to play e6 or do I want to develop my bishop first? Seems like this maybe is a good idea. And it's a little bit exposed there. But I don't know what it would be doing back on d7. I suppose I could have played it too. b7 is a long-term plan. That might have been an idea instead. Let's put a pawn up here to support the bishop. And if necessary, the bishop can retreat to this square. The knight. Where does the knight go? Maybe I can push this pawn. So if he wants to take my bishop and open this up, I guess that's okay. He does win a pawn, though. So I may have committed myself to playing a gambit here. Okay, if I just push ahead with d4, so this knight has a square to go to. Actually, I think what I want to do is defend. Oh no, the e-pawn is defended. If I were to play f6, attacking that knight, he can't take the e-pawn right away, but he could take the bishop first. I take the knight, and he can take a pawn. Things are kind of messed up. So if I defend the e-pawn, then I can play f6, regardless of whether the bishop is there or not. And I can castle queenside and not worry about my messed up king side. In fact, becomes an advantage. If there's open lines on the king side, I'll use them to attack my opponent's king. Okay, so he just went back. Now, can he come into any good squares? Let's just castle then. Get out of the traffic jam. Maybe bishop to h6 is an idea. Okay, he's attacking there. Although not really. That's defended. Okay, ignore that for a move and attack the f-pawn here. And he defends it that way. So knight to f5, is that an idea? Pushing through with d5. If I play d5 now, he takes, I take. My king is maybe a little exposed. How about if I just move my king over as a preparation for pushing ahead in the center with some pawn move? Maybe there's e4, there's d5, and there's f5. f5 might lead to a closed position, though. I think I like d5. Then I have the idea of knight to f5 to, d4, knight to f5 to e3 even. Or bishop to f5. Now this pawn is loose over here if the knight moves. It's just going to be hanging, but I could put a rook on the g file and threaten to take h3. Might be useful. Okay, he's supporting that knight here, so I think I'll do that. Rook g8. See how he defends the h-pawn. That way. Okay, well that gives me this square back if I want. Or I could still go here. Bishop to h6. He could defend with the rook. Bishop h3, rook f2. It's probably good enough. Why don't I push ahead in the center? Ebony Fire 219. Interesting name. Okay, he wants to cause trouble with this pawn. He can create a hole here. Where is the knight going if I chase it back? I guess it goes to this square. Then it comes here and it comes to here. So it can get to a good square in a few moves. This is not seeming like a logical continuation to me. So I can take the knight, he can push ahead, I can play g6. I don't have to take it. He can take the knight, he can take over here, I can take there. This has got to be okay for me, I think. Just I'm not seeing the attack. I don't see how he opens the h-file, basically. He can play queen to a. I don't see how he opens the a-file. He can play queen to a4. But if this pawn is in front of the queen, it will be difficult for him to open things up. So I thought pawn takes on c3. Okay, so now what have we got? Maybe knight to d5 here, hitting the bishop, supporting this pawn, but it blocks the queen. Bishop takes on d3 maybe is the principal move here. I don't see how he can create a pin. I mean, that's the danger you worry about, is if he can create a pin here and I'll win my queen somehow, but I don't see it happening. There is, I guess this is, it's the move a6 rather. Move a6 is a bit dangerous. I can't play b6 here because he will take, and then I'll have these two pawns abreast right in front of my king. That's a little bit scary. So I think I have to sit here if he pushes a6 like he did. But he is giving up a lot of material. So if he pushes ahead one more pawn, then I'll play my king to a8. So he plays a7. I'll play king a8. If he plays takes, I can play queen takes so that his rook doesn't come down here to the 8th rank. And in the meantime, I'm waiting for him to decide what to do with that pawn. I can grab a piece. Now his queen is attacking this pawn. So let's block that. If I block with the queen and he takes here, I can still take back with the king. So I think I'm okay. I'm going to get my queen up here and then play knight to d5, maybe hitting the bishop, supporting this pawn. Well, white has sacrificed a lot of material, so if his attack doesn't come home, I'm going to win. But this is a bit tricky, I have to admit. Okay, so if my queen gets chased by a rook, I can take the bishop. The bishop goes here, or here, it gets taken, so it goes back to there. Then I can at least grab this pawn over here. It's not, it's more about, it's more about reducing his force than it is about grabbing the pawn. If his bishop moves away, then I have the strong move bishop f3, pinning the queen to the king. So he probably needs to trade, or allow me to trade. He can throw in pawn takes here, or pawn to a7. It's nice to have this knight on c6 blockading. Yeah, so I think I should take it rather than allow the rook to come to a8. Although it might have been possible to allow that even. Now he still needs to do something about the bishop situation and the threat of bishop to f3 if he doesn't take that bishop. Yeah, he takes. Okay, so knight takes is the move, I think. Now I have a check here, or a check there. This check is better, right? Check the king and trade and force trade of material, queen for rook and knight. Well, there's this check here. Knight h3, forking. Okay, so he doesn't allow that, but maybe rook takes is still good. Where does the queen go? Up and down it's blocked. Side to side the rook covers it, and diagonally the rook covers there. The queen has that square. And these squares are covered. So rook takes, then queen here. And is there something? Maybe queen here. Rook g2, queen to e1 I think is the only move, and then queen to e2. And then again the queen doesn't have a whole lot of moves, and I am threatening a mate here. With rook there check, knight takes, queen, rook h2 check, knight takes h2, and queen g2 mate.
Check.
Or if the king moves, it's also queen g2 mate. So that's a mate in two.
White resigns.
Okay, interesting game. I will do a post-mortem as usual and see you guys later. Bye.